Today on What They Ate, we're revealing the diet behind the genius of Albert Einstein. You might think it's all relativity and theoretical physics, but what if I told you his brilliance was also fueled by eggs, honey, and porcini mushrooms? Albert Einstein, a name that screams E equals MC squared. But when it came to food, his equation was more like E equals meat plus cheese. His approach to his diet was as simple as his theories were revolutionary. In a letter to his wife Elsa back in 1913, Einstein expressed a carefree attitude toward his diet, indulging in smoking, irregular sleeping patterns, and eating without consideration. So buckle up as we dive into the surprisingly down-to-earth eating habits of history's favorite genius. It turns out the father of modern physics was also the unsuspecting patron saint of keeping dinner simple. Imagine finding Albert Einstein, the man who gave us the theory of relativity, dead drunk passed out under a kitchen table. It sounds like the setup to a very bad physics joke, but according to a cheeky postcard from 1911, this actually happened after a wild night with his wife Elsa. Who knew Einstein had it in him? Now, before you start imagining Einstein as the life of the party, flask in hand, let's set the record straight. This guy's drinking habits were about as mild as his theories were mind-blowing. His home was practically a dry zone, with the occasional appearance of table wine for those must-have-a-drink-to-be-polite dinner parties. And sure, Einstein might dabble in a glass of wine or cognac, but he was more of a sipper, not a guzzler. So what really revved up Einstein's engine? The answer? Coffee. Yes, like a true academic, Einstein had a soft spot for that dark, bitter elixir of life. After a heart scare in 1928, he was advised by his doctor to switch to the decaffeinated variety, because nothing says I'm watching my health quite like giving up real coffee. Yet it was black tea that really stole his heart. Figuratively speaking, of course, hinting at Einstein's quest for a gentler buzz. But wait, there's more here. Among Einstein's culinary quirks was his love for celery punch. Yes, you heard that right. In the midst of unraveling the fabric of the universe, Einstein found comfort in a glass of celery punch. This was Einstein's favorite beverage, a staple in the diet of a man whose taste in food was as distinctive as his hairdo. Imagine starting your day like a Nobel Prize-winning physicist. Well, it's not rocket science. Let's break down Einstein's breakfast playbook. First up, eggs, fried or scrambled, because, hey, why complicate things? Next, we have a side of toast or rolls, because, well, even geniuses need their carbs. But here's where it gets sweet. Einstein was a honey fanatic. According to his house staff, we're talking whole buckets at a time. Just picture Einstein's toast in one hand, a bucket of honey in the other, prepping for a day of bending time and space. So what's the takeaway from Einstein's breakfast of champions? Simple. A meal high in protein with a generous side of natural sugars for an energy boost will lay the foundation for a day filled with intellectual leaps and bounds. Who knew the secret to unlocking the mysteries of the universe might just start with eggs and honey? So let's get down to the meat of the matter. What does the professor munch on for lunch? The answer, green beans and mutton chops. Yes, you heard that right. Albert had a theoretical preference for keeping lunch straightforward and hearty. Mutton chops, the superhero of meats in the Einstein diet, come from our woolly friends, the adult sheep. It specifically refers to a cut of meat from the side of the sheep's rib area, and it has been a significant part of the diet in many cultures around the world, particularly in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Its history dates back thousands of years, being one of the first domesticated animals for meat consumption. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, mutton was a popular meat in the United Kingdom and America, prized for its flavor, which is richer and more intense than that of lamb, the young sheep. It turns out Einstein's lunch habits reveals the palate of a man with a love for good, no-nonsense grub. In the cooler months of the year, when the temperatures dipped, signaling the universe was now in sweater mode, Einstein, our resident genius, shifted gears from unraveling the mysteries of time and space to cooking with chestnuts. Yes, amidst the chilly embraces of the cooler months, Einstein loved himself a good pork fillet with chestnuts. It's the kind of meal that makes you think, So this is what luxury tastes like, even if you're wearing fuzzy slippers and a lab coat. But here's where it gets even better. Einstein loved to forage for his food. That's right, folks. Imagine the professor, basket in hand, frolicking through the forest outside his country home in Kaputh, Germany, like a character out of a whimsical children's tale, hunting for chestnuts with the zeal of a man on a mission. Sounds delicious. Yes, apparently we're learning that the genius had the palate of a broke bachelor. During times when fresh meat was scarce, or as a preference for lighter fare, canned salmon served with mayonnaise would have provided some protein and a break from the heavier meat dishes of Einstein's diet. This low-fuss affair was apparently a snack befitting of a genius. Identified as one of Einstein's favorite foods, German roast pork is a classic dish that showcases his roots and a preference for traditional German cuisine. German roast pork, also known as Schweinebraten, isn't just any old pork roast. It's the Michael Jordan of pork roasts, seasoned with a lineup that reads like a who's who of the herb and spice world. Caraway seeds? Check. Mustard? You bet. Garlic? Absolutely. And for the grand finale, a beer marinade. Because in Einstein's Germany, even the port gets a pint. But let's rewind to medieval Germany, where Schweinebraten began its illustrious career. Picture a time when roasting meat was the culinary highlight, a festive affair that said, we may not have Wi-Fi, but we've got pork. It's no wonder pork became the MVP of German cuisine. The Schweinebraten taking center stage at Sunday dinners, holidays, and any occasion worth donning your lederhosen for. And oh, the regional twists abound. In Bavaria, they dunk the pork in dark beer, a nod to the region's legendary dark brews. Meanwhile, in Franconia, it's all about the sauerkraut sideshow, creating a plate that screams Bavarian pride. This was the version that stole Einstein's heart and stomach. But here's the kicker. Despite his taste for this culinary masterpiece, Einstein insisted his meats be well done. I'm not a tiger, he'd quip, turning his nose up at anything cooked shy of a leathery crisp. No rare fillets for this genius. In 1928, the universe threw Einstein a curveball with a health saga that would make a soap opera blush. Failure of the heart, liver, kidney, and just for good measure, jaundice. The diagnosis? A dietary makeover that catapulted Einstein into vegetarianism. You'd think this would be a gastronomic gut punch for a man who loved himself some pork roast, but Einstein, he just shrugged and rewrote the menu. Flash forward to 1954, and Einstein is writing to his friends saying, living without fats, without meat, without fish, and feeling quite well this way. But despite the strict new diet, it didn't prevent him from indulging in his favorite food of all. Enter porcini mushrooms, the unsung heroes of the forest floor. Porcinis were the steak of the woods for Einstein, the saviors of his vegetarian plate. Friends whispered that given half a chance, Albert would have had eaten porcinis for every single meal. And where did these magical mushrooms come from? Well, Einstein the forager makes an appearance yet again, as wild porcini mushrooms were abundant on the forest floors outside his home in Kaputh, Germany. Einstein, in his own way, was a mycological pioneer, showing the world that even in the absence of pork roast, one could find culinary bliss in a humble mushroom. Ah, Einstein's love affair with Italian cuisine. Albert spent many years of his childhood living in Italy with his family. Imagine young Albert gallivanting through Milan, his future genius brewing while his taste buds were busy taking notes. Yes, before he was bending time and space, he was twirling spaghetti. And let's not forget his sister Maria, the unsung hero in this pasta saga. Apparently she could whip up Italian fare like an expert. Spaghetti, macaroni, a splash of tomato sauce here and a sprinkle of bolognese there. This was enough to make Einstein's no-frills palate do a happy dance. It seems that for Einstein, the formula for happiness wasn't E = mc squared, but rather pasta = tomato sauce. Supper was Einstein's simplest meal of the day. It usually consisted of a Swiss boiled sausage, a piece of Gruyere cheese, some fruit, a little honey, and 1 or 2 cups of tea. Occasionally, the professor would throw in a vegetable salad. He had a particular fondness for artichoke, cucumber, or asparagus. Take your pick. But it was dessert that was the highlight of Albert's night. Einstein's affection for the humble strawberry might just be the juiciest part of his legacy. Not really, but anyway. We can just picture the great thinker tucked away in his country home, engaging in a strawberry feast of epic proportions. Albert ate strawberries by the pound, according to his doctor. If strawberries had been a variable in his equations, who knows how much sweeter relativity might have been. Einstein's love for strawberries was, quite frankly, adorable. It's a reminder that behind every monumental mind is a person who might just be pining for a bowl of berries. Einstein's diet offers us a fascinating lens through which to view his life and work, blending simplicity with depth, much like the man himself. Craving more culinary histories? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to join us on more historical culinary expeditions. Because remember, everyone needs to eat.